Now, let me point something, and it's important. Every human being has 4 growth areas. And within these 4 growth areas, we also find our need areas. One of them is the emotions, the mental life, your spiritual life, and your physical life. In other words, you need to develop where we find weaknesses. Sometimes you'll find it in the emotions. Sometimes you'll find it in a mind that has been injured for a long time, with wrong perspectives, with wrong views. So you need to grow in your mental life. You need to grow in your spiritual life, your relationship with God. You need to grow in that area. And then, of course, you need to grow physically. One area that we are familiar with is a physical. We need to grow in our physical life, and people put up a lot in their physical life, go to the hospital to take care of their organs, take care of their face, take care of their hairs, their shoes, and all of that, but they don't take care of how they talk. They don't take care of how they see, their perception. They don't take care of how their mind has been settled by situations. They don't take care of how they relate with God, because you see, your spiritual life will develop character. Your spiritual life will develop conscience. Your spiritual life will develop a strong conviction. Strong conviction that makes you see things properly, that makes you evaluate things properly. So don't marry someone who is not growing mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and who is not growing physically. You only know if you're growing in these 4 areas that I just mentioned if you engage yourself in self-awareness. That's how you get to know. Engage yourself. Ask yourself questions. Have I attained emotional stability? How long does it take me to forgive? Do I blow up in anger easily? What are my mindsets? Do I have perceptions and the way I see things that have refused to change even though they appear to be wrong? What's my relationship with God? Because if your relationship with God is right, your relationship with the other person will be right. And then, of course, your relationship with God will help change your character and fine-tune your conscience. Because to marry someone who doesn't have conscience is a dangerous thing. It will help you have a strong conviction. So how do you know that you are growing? Do the test. Do self-awareness tests. You also get to know what your needs are if you do self-awareness tests. What are my emotional needs? What is my number 1 spiritual need? As it stands now, what is your physical need? What's your physical need? A lot of people don't know. If you don't know this set of needs, you don't know what your needs are in these 4 dimensions, these 4 areas of life, don't get married. Because marriage is a place where needs are met. And human needs will spring from these places. So your husband or your wife will have to meet those needs in those areas. But if you don't know, that is where problems come. That's where you're in a marriage, but you're not happy because your needs are not met. Now, the problem is not the man or the woman. The problem is you that have not been able to know what your needs are. So your needs were not discussed during courtship. So the man doesn't know. So you're expecting so much, but he doesn't know how to meet your needs. You're expecting him to meet the needs, but he doesn't know how to, because he doesn't know what your needs are. I pray that God will make this sink deep in your soul, and you begin to work on yourself, determine a lot of things before you take that journey. I will be glad if you listen to this, and I will be glad if you allow God to speak to you with these principles I'm sharing. God bless you. Amen.